Bears Huddle podcast. I'm OW James. This is your Chicago Bears update, guys. Yes, it is the off season, but we are still all over all the news. There is so much to go over, so much to cover still, even in this off season. We've got free agency, we've got the scouting combine, we've got the draft, we've got the rebuild, we've got so much to look at, guys, as we go towards next season, which will hopefully be here sooner than we expected to be. We've got injury news this morning. We've also got the latest on Al Harris, guys, and where he might be going. Please hang on for that. That is coming up in this video. So please, obviously, wait and give me your opinions on Al Harris. Right, we're going to start off with injury news. Yes, injury news. Never a good one, guys. Look, this season has not been great for the Bears with injuries. We've lost a lot of injury time. We'll talk a little bit about that, but the press conference given by Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles yesterday was around rookie left tackle Ozzy Trapillo. Ozzy obviously came in, replacing Braxton Jones and Theo Benedette to some extent as the starting left tackle. He then unfortunately got this patella tendon injury and missed the game against the Rams. So, you know, it's a big loss. And I think Ozzy was starting to show that he really is the left tackle of the future for the Bears. And it really did give that Bears line a really solid look to it with Trapillo, Tooney, Dolman, Jackson and Darnell Wright. So, you know, obviously missing was massive. It now looks like this absence will be a longer absence. He has to have surgery on this injury, which obviously therefore increases the amount of time that he needs to miss. This was what Ryan Poles said yesterday. I don't have a specific timetable, but I'm sure it'll be somewhere deep into next year. I presume he means the 2026 season, not calendar year of 2027. We certainly got to hope that is true, that he means the 2026 NFL season, and certainly doesn't mean 2027, which would mean that he pretty much misses the entire of a season, unless the Bears, of course, make it all the way to the Super Bowl. But look, you know, this is a big loss. You know, Ozzy, I think, you know, it's heartbreaking for the young lad. He's a guy who's come in, he took his chance, he's impressed, he's looked good, and now he's gone for pretty much, obviously he'll be gone for all of training camp, OTAs, you know, etc., etc. He'll be gone for the start of the season, for pre-season, everything, you know, out the window for Ozzy, and all that time to, you know, work with his team to learn new schemes, to learn new things, working alongside Ben Johnson, Dan Rauschar, and others will be lost. Obviously, it does present the Bears with a bit of an issue at left tackle. You know, what direction do we go in? You know, obviously Braxton Jones is a free agent. I think he's likely to leave the team. You know, given the fact how bad he is. Theo Benedette could be an option there, but look, Theo, I think you've got to kind of take that with a little bit of a warning. You know, Theo Benedette wasn't trusted to play in that Rams playoff game. You know, we swapped Tooney to left tackle, brought in Jordan McFadden, and obviously Theo Benedette was not trusted to go up against a premier edge rusher like Jared Verse. So, you know, is there a lack of trust there in Theo Benedette? So does that mean that the Bears need to go shopping for a left tackle, or perhaps go back into the draft for a left tackle? You know, given the salary cap situation at the moment, with projected $12 million overspend, it does look obviously a concerning issue that does need to be addressed. But how the Bears address it will be down of Ryan Poles' magic with the checkbook. The Bears have had the most lost days to injury of any NFL team. I think it was 312, I read somewhere, days lost to injuries. The Bears lost in the 2026 NFL season. Obviously, TJ Edwards missed a great amount of time with injury. Jalen Johnson missed a great amount of time with injury. Kyler Gordon. You know, it wasn't just him. Obviously, Noah Sewell. A number of others missing a lot of time this season with injury. So injuries have been a big thing for the Bears. I think it's just even more credit to the Bears and to the coaching staff to how well they've done this season, given all those injury days lost to, you know, really good key players and stars. You know, Gordon, Edwards, Johnson, certainly in that starter bracket. So look, you know, it is credit to the guys, credit to what they've done this season. Further news on Noah Sewell as well. Noah Sewell obviously got an Achilles tendon tear. He is obviously still out. He needs surgery. He will be out long term as well. Reports this morning indicate that he is likely to be cut by the Chicago Bears as they seek to obviously free up cap space. Unlikely to be willing to wait on Sewell's recovery, which obviously be sad for Noah Sewell. I do wish him all the best if that is the case. But, look, Ryan Poles has some hard decisions to make in terms of freeing up that cap space. Right, let's talk coaches. Now, obviously, the other day we spoke about the fact that Eric Bieniemy is on his way to the Kansas City Chiefs to reunite with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and become their offensive coordinator. And I think that was always going to be the case, that he was going to look for an OC job at the end of the season. He took the running back coach's job, I think, to get back into it, to show his skill, to show what he could do. He certainly did that with obviously helping alongside Ben Johnson, Dan Rauschau and others to really reinvigorate that Bears running game this year. Carmen Ungai and D'Andre Swift did wonders under the tutelage of Eric Bieniemy, and obviously Eric now goes back to Kansas City and becomes the OC, and we wish him luck. Hopefully not too much luck. I don't like the Kansas City Chiefs, I've got to say. Not a fan at all. But look, he's obviously going to be going, and obviously the Bears will need to replace him. Obviously early front runners, the likes of Deuce Staley, for example, is a name that's been mentioned as a possible next running back coach for our Bears. Now, the big story now is around Al Harris. Al Harris obviously been really highly vaunted for his work this year with the Bears secondary. In terms of stats, you look at the pure stats of the situation. You look at the Bears defense. Statistically, the Bears defense has not been great, has it? In terms of its pure stats. Now we're talking pure stats. We're talking about this whole situation around yards allowed, running yards allowed, passing yards allowed, etc., etc. But look, yes, we have not been great in pass defense. Of course we haven't. That's not great. The whole situation around the pass defense. I mean, we average. I think it was around about. We obviously allowed as a defense, passing wise, we allowed 227 yards per game, which is not great. But what Al Harris has been kind of really highly vaunted for is his work with first of all a very injury hit secondary that he basically helped with his next man up mentality, bringing the best out of the likes of Nashawn Wright, Tyreek Stevenson when he was fit, Blackwell, McLeod and others to perform and overperform to some extent. And obviously as well, the situation is very much a case of the work that's been done is very, very good. Very, very good indeed. So Al Harris, obviously, in terms of takeaways as well and interceptions, the Bears led the league in interceptions. So obviously that's all credit Al Harris for that. Now, as we know, there will be a number of teams looking for defensive coordinators in this draft, in this sort of swage of coach replacements. We know there's 9 head coaches jobs, for example, up for replacement, but also defensive coordinators as well. So one of those defensive coordinator positions that is up, obviously, the 2 of them is the Washington Commanders and, unfortunately, the Green Bay Packers. Jeff Hatley, the Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator, has gone to the Miami Dolphins to take over from Mike McDaniel there. So we know that they are shopping for someone. Now, Jeremy Fowler and Adam Schefter, so very reliable sources, have confirmed this news. This is what Jeremy Fowler has put. Bears passing game coordinator and secondary coach Al Harris is interviewing for the Commanders defensive coordinator position per source. Harris is also interviewed in Green Bay today per Adam Schefter. So it looks highly likely that we will lose Al Harris as well from the Bears coaching staff, which is a big loss. Al Harris is a good coach, is a very good coach. And I think, if he's offered the Green Bay job, he is going to take it. This is a guy who, is a Green Bay legend. So, it is what it is, guys. But, if he goes there, I hope he does disastrously badly. Of course I do, because he's a Green Bay. I hope he goes to Washington and does brilliantly. There's obviously a real chance as well. Nashawn Wright could follow him. I know Nashawn is a massive fan of Al Harris's. And it does, of course, present that, obviously, then Ben Johnson with an issue there. Again, another position to replace that him and Dennis Allen have got to really look at in terms of bringing someone in of equal value to Al Harris. Guys, another possible coach's departure. But look, as some people have said, this is what happens when you're successful. And I'd rather be successful and have people looking at our coaches than unsuccessful and people laughing at us. So, guys, let me know your thoughts on that one. Let me know your thoughts on the injury news. Thank you for watching the Bears Huddle podcast, guys. As always, if you've enjoyed the content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bear down.